Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning, khush aamdeed, ji ayanu, goeiemorgen.
Bakhair Agale, Ni Hao, Chudeshume, Washmale, Ohio Gonzaimes, Guten Morgen, Hola, Bonjour, Privyet, Kaifa Hal, Halishuma Chatore, Ahlan Wasal, Marhaba, Buna, Mucho, Gracias, Swabia, Balli Karaya. And thank you very much, everybody, for tuning into PTV World. You watching World this morning alongside the very fantastic, the very superb, and the birthday girl herself, Miss Shiza Hashmi and Shahzad Khan. Hello, Shiza, how are you doing today?
I'm doing absolutely great. Thank you so much for asking. And I had such a long weekend, so I'm really energized after that. What about you, though? Thank you for covering up after
No
me.
problem at all. No problem at all. I think that's what colleagues are for. That's what teammates are for as well. But yes, it was your birthday, so I think it was long due that I had to cover for you because you've been covering for me for so long as well. So I'm really glad that you finally had a weekend to yourself.
Yes,
Even
thank
amidst
God.
Corona, we were at work as well, and we were making sure that we disseminate all good kinds of information with people out there. So first of all, how was your birthday? Happy Hatch Day
Thank
to
you.
And what did you do? How did you make your birthday special?
All right, so the best part is both of my families, so my actual family and my in-laws, turn by turn they took days to surprise me, and it was the best because both of them live outside Islamabad, so they had to come all the way and plan all those things, so it was brilliant. And for my birthday, the day itself, I took it off and went to the hills with my husband. And I don't know, because I've been a flatlander all my life, and since we belong to Multan and Sargodha and whatnot, I think it always blows my mind whenever I go to the mountain. It's so refreshing, right?
It is, and that's great, and it's good to know. And finally, I've learned a new word, ladies and gentlemen, which is flatlander.
Yeah.
Wow, I think you've recently picked up on this word as well.
Okay. I know it. I mean, but I really like the word for a fact that the moment I sort of enter into Murray and see all the beautiful stuff, it really, really, takes a toll onto my head in terms of its beauty, in terms of how serene it is, because of course, imagine coming from the deserts of Multan or areas near that. I would really enjoy looking at all of that.
That's wonderful, but over here I have a question for you before we very quickly move on to the topic as well.
Right.
And the question is, since you just mentioned that your in-laws, your family members, everybody paid you a visit, and they kind of surprised you as well. With women, I know, maybe birthdays, maybe any occasion within the year as well, it is very close and dear and near to them as well, and they want to celebrate it to the fullest. God forbid, unfortunately, if your husband might have forgotten that yesterday was the day that you were supposed to be, wished happy birthday, what would be your response? Would you be rather very angry, or would you be like, okay, yeah, you know what, I'm all grown up now, but this does not matter, or do this still matter?
You know what, I can't.
And now when you're going to speak about it, you are going to actually represent all the women out there as well. So you really need to be very wise.
All right. No, here's the thing. I can't be generic about it because in my particular case, I've known this man for a few years now. I don't think he will forget it. I mean, come on. But yes, I do realize, I mean, people do have a memory problem, not only men, but women tend to forget a lot of special days as well. I just think it's very important to make your loved ones or your family members or your friends feel special because they are the ones who are making your life better, right? So might as well pay something back as well. Other than that, while things were so much fun for me, a lot of people were really, not happy about this week for the reason that schools reopened, Shazad. Schools, universities, a lot of institutions reopened, and unfortunately, one of them even had to seal the day it opened because, of course, it was hard to, manage or contain the ongoing COVID-19 as well. But fingers crossed, I really hope everyone who's going out to schools and offices and whatnot stays safe, and please follow the SOPs for yourself and for the people around you.
Exactly, and that is, ladies and gentlemen, very important, but I'm going to come back to where we started our conversation from as well, and that is that, God forbid, if you will forget your husband's birthday, I don't think that it would be an issue. But if he misses out on yours, I think that's going to be an issue. Yes or no? Yes or no?
I can't say. I mean, come on. I don't think he will ever. That's what I'm saying.
Wow. So God forbid, Fakir, if, one day you're going to miss out on that, I'm going to bring this television show out and I'll put it right in front of you. I'll be like, man, your wife is so confident. So please make sure that you do not forget. And ladies and gentlemen, if it's in your capacity to make somebody's mood or somebody's day, please make sure that you do that. It is an important aspect of life. Please make sure that you live a happy life as well.
Absolutely.
But for a happy life, ladies and gentlemen, what we really need to do is that we really need to look around. We really need to invest in nature. We need to make sure that everything which nature has blessed us with is up and in running condition.
Most definitely so. And Shahzad, you know, when you talk about the nature itself, there's a certain mechanism that Allah has created. And until the end of time, of course, that is the mechanism that the nature will follow. So here's the thing. The biggest, largest source of energy, the sun, is what sustains life on Earth as well, directly or indirectly. But we cannot take that energy or the rays directly onto us, of course, because it's sort of harmful to, I mean,
because
I don't know
of the ultraviolet rays.
Of course, most definitely so. Most part of the energy coming directly from the sun is harmful. So there is, by the grace of Allah, of course, I mean, I love nature, Shahzad. It's beautiful, of course. So in the stratosphere of our, I mean, there are certain layers of atmosphere as well, right? So in the stratosphere, there's a thin or a fragile layer of gases, which is called ozone, which protects us or protects the entire life on Earth from the harmful rays of sun. And well, while we all know of ozone, we all also know that since more than 2 decades now, it's been depleting. Well, now we're back on sort of, you know, I want to say preserving it as well. Yeah, but it was depleting on such a large rate as well. I mean, imagine if there was no ozone and everything was to come directly onto Earth as well. I don't think we could sustain life even for a day or two anymore.
Exactly, and God forbid there would have been quite a lot of skin diseases, which still do exist as well. But we'll definitely talk about that. But the problem, ladies and gentlemen, over here is that earlier we used to say that, you know, it's the chlorofluorocarbons due to which the ozone layer is depleting. And then we made sure that we're going to come up with the alternate as well, which was HFCC as well. But then we found out that it's contributing to climate change. So, you know, what are the solutions? And then there are several protocols which are in place as well. And since today happens to be the ozone day as well, so today happens to be the completion of 35 years of actually the Vienna Convention. And, you know, at this point of time, ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot of people who say that, you know, amidst COVID, when everything was in lockdown, that the ozone layer has been healing or repairing itself. But to some extent, some people said that it has healed 100% or it has recovered 100%. These are a few questions which we need to ask. Now, what are the other alternates we have for us as well, and how do we protect? And ladies and gentlemen, it's not just Pakistan, because Pakistan is not a massive or a major contributor as well. You know, it's in points of percentage.
0.2.
Yeah. So you know, imagine that, you know, there are other countries who are developed. They have a lot of bigger industry, and they are contributing in emissions to a larger scale as well.
Most definitely. Yes, Shahzad, you're absolutely right. So let's begin the conversation. Before that, we have to realize that the theme for this year and probably the year to come as well is ozone for life. So, well, yes, while we have to, we realize that ozone for life really means that the ozone has to be present over there to sustain life. But not only that, the life as we know it on Earth, the kind of setup that we've made for ourselves in terms of, you know, all the technologies and things that we're surrounded with, that needs ozone layer to sort of, you know, let it all going on. And this day, 16th of September, is definitely, you know, fixed to celebrate the efforts that are being done all around the globe as well to preserve the layer. And well, let's start the conversation.
And you know, for a better understanding of all of those kids who are out there who might not even, you know, be at the age where they will understand what ozone layer is. So kids, all you need to realize is that, you know, that the way your mother is at your home, she's exactly like the ozone layer. So please make sure that you protect her and you protect the ozone layer as well.
So sweet.
So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we're very lucky that we've actually been joined by Professor Dr. Irfan Khan Sahab today, who happens to be from Environmental Sciences and Islamabad International Islamic University as well. Hello, sir. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning.
Thank you very much.
So thank you very much for joining us. It's wonderful to have you. Alongside Professor Dr. Irfan Sahab, ladies and gentlemen, we're very lucky that we've actually been joined by somebody who happens to be from Ministry of Climate Change as well, a Deputy Director Chemical. He happens to be Dr. Zagam Abbas Sahab. Hello, sir. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning.
Walaikum salam. Thank you very much and good morning.
And thank you very much for joining us. But one more important aspect about Dr. Zagam Abbas Sahab is, ladies and gentlemen, that he happens to be a part of the International Cooperation Wing as well with the Ministry of Climate Change. And obviously, he will be answering why other countries are not signing all of those protocols and why do we have to comply to them.
Yeah, but considering, you know, sorry, I think before the question, I'm adding on a comment into it as well. But I think this was in terms of, you know, preserving the ozone layer and the environment as well. This was the most, I want to say, unanimous and universally accepted protocol as well, right? So I think let's begin the conversation over here with Dr. Irfan Sahab. So to begin with, I think it's really important to have an entire day dedicated to the preservation of ozone. What do you think about it? What do you think about the theme, ozone for life?
You see, dedicating a day for life.
Yes.
Ozone, as you see, Shahzad earlier mentioned, that about the skin disease and other thing.
Right.
it's not only the skin diseases, there are a lot of other effects that this ultraviolet rays they are having. As far as the human concern, it's yes, of course, non-melanoma cancer causing on the skin, and then it is badly affecting the eyes, particularly the cataract.
Oh, all right.
And other important thing that it particularly affect our crop. When our crop are affected, your agriculture productivity is affected, and country like Pakistan, agro-based economy, our whole economy is going to disturb. Another thing, for the human being particularly, these ultraviolet rays, they affect your immune system. When your immune system is going to affect, your body is prone to any kind of attack on the disease. So you become like weaker. So once you have like a weak human being, so they are prone to any disease, not only COVID and other things. So it's reducing the immunity, affecting your immune system, your physiological processes, and from the animal side, it also affecting different other animals. So in this case, you see, it's a question of security in terms of your food security. If affecting your agriculture crops, you might have seen those yellow and some dotted leaves in certain area, fruit trees and other things due to these ultraviolet rays. Sometimes they are also being used to treat certain insect pests also, but no, it's naturally if it is coming to air, but everybody is familiar with skin cancers and these all. That's one thing, no doubt in that, but it is much beyond that. When it is affecting the human immune system, so it's going to affect the health. That's the reason that out of 17 sustainable development goals we set for the 2030, 13 goals they incorporate one way or the other.
Environmental?
No, the ozone.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Directly or indirectly.
Wow.
And you know, sir, moving on with that, I think for a deeper understanding, ladies and gentlemen, it is having an impact on the ecosystem. I think that this is for the understanding for everybody who's out there, because it's not just the skin. You know, as Professor Saab is saying, it's for everybody out there, and it is having an impact. Now, if I'm going to take you back in time last year as well, ladies and gentlemen, where there were rains, but rains weren't actually on the time when the crops were supposed to grow. So, you know, we have seen that there has been a shift in the in the processes of nature, or the cycle of rains and monsoon. Even this time around, we have seen so many rains in monsoon. So, you know, it's always different. And not just that, we have seen that, you know, there have been so many islands which have actually depleted. You know, they're not there anymore as well, or even on the map. So obviously there needs to be something needs to be done as well. But before we do that, before we ask you about what needs to be done, I mean, if the impact is so enormous, huge, magnanimous, what are we trying to do? What are the other nations trying to do, since you happen to be in the international cooperation wing as well? Do you think that all the nations are on the same page to make sure that we are not going to, you know, probably deplete the ozone layer a little more?
Yeah, thank you. Basically, the objective of this Montreal Protocol is to protect ozone layer.
Right.
And the target of Montreal Protocol is already fixed for every country. For example, we have a target to phase out all HCFC, hydrochlorofluorocarbons, till 2040. And under this target, 2020, we have to phase out 35%, which was defined for Pakistan. And we achieved that target up to 50%. So that is 15% more than the target of which are defined for Pakistan.
That's nice.
And the other thing that is very important, that there is a multilateral fund for 197 countries. That is the very successful Montreal Protocol, which provide the technologies to the developing countries. And there is a proper mechanism that they will invest in the technologies, ozone-friendly technologies. In this regard, they have provided 5 ozone-friendly technologies in Pakistan in HPMP phase 1, and we have successfully completed that project, and now we are going to implement second phase. In second phase, we are going to phase out 11 new industries, and about $5.6 million being provided, and we are implementing in different sectors: air conditioning, refrigerations, thermowares. So ozone-friendly technology. And one important thing nowadays, we are going to ratify Kigali Amendment. That is another milestone in the Montreal Protocol that also address to phase down HFC, hydrofluorocarbons.
Right.
That is, that gas is covered under global warming potential, as well as to phase down the temperature level.
Okay.
So, for developing countries, there is a two groups. In first group, from 2024, some countries will be like China, Brazil, and some African country. And second group, which 2028, Pakistan, UAE, India, and other country will start this Kigali amendments and is phased down from 2028.
All right.
So, we are going on the good commitment with the Montreal Protocol, and it is very successful and highly appreciated by all over the globe that we are pursuing with this Montreal Protocol commitment very successfully.
All right,
That's
amazing.
brilliant.
But sir, at this point of time, I think that everybody out there would actually want to learn that, you know, what kind of industries. I mean, you've definitely spoken about the refrigerators, air conditioners, and all of those industries using all of those gases. But what are the other industries who are contributing to the depletion of ozone as well? And how's the ministry or the government making sure or ensuring that the protocols are being followed? Because over here in Pakistan, one way or the other, we kind of tend to ignore the protocols and just make sure that whatever earns us the best profit, we're going to follow that. So how are we ensuring that?
Actually, Ministry of Climate Change is going to train the technicians at the servicing sectors.
Going to?
Yes.
So it's going to happen in near future?
In near future, particularly in the case of HFCs.
Okay.
And on the other side, if we are talk about the SCFCs, we have already trained the technicians in all over the countries, as well as for the custom officers. We have the training that we have to control the illegal import of SCFC in different misdeclaration. So, Pakistan government and particularly Ministry of Climate Change dedicated establish a national ozone unit that maintain the regulations to control import, illegal import, and to facilitate the technologies to the all industries which are using. So, the that use also in the CFC based inhalers, we have phased out two main industries of pharmaceuticals, and we have successfully all the phase down of first generation CFCs, halones, methyl chloroforms, carbon tetrachlorides in different industries, we have successfully phased down. But in second phase, our target is till 2040, all the industry will be changed to the alternatives, which is ozone friendly as well as they have less global warming potential.
Wow.
That's brilliant. And you know, it was really, I think I want to say, I was really proud to learn that where you mentioned that inhalers for asthma patients, they have been substituted with ozone-friendly substances as well, which is brilliant because just a while ago I was reading an article which was stating different substances which have been substituted to be ozone-friendly, but inhalers were not one of them. And a lot of people were claiming that maybe there's not a right substance to replace that as well. So, well, fingers, actually, kudos to what Pakistan is doing as well.
But you know, I want to ask a question over here just because of the point you've raised as well, that how can inhalers be dangerous? Because they, all of that gas is actually inhaled by a human. And how can it be dangerous for the ozone layer out there? I think that this is something I would love to know.
Yeah, and while you answer that, Dr. Franza, please also add to that, let us know some of the ODSs, some of the substances that do deplete the ozone layer that we use in our personal daily lives that we're so neglected of.
You see, what the question Shahzad asked is both are related.
Yes.
You see, like what we're inhaling, it is actually a medicine.
Yeah.
And that gas is being used as a carrier.
Okay.
So once you go, medicine got target to the cells in the body or the lungs, but that gas that remain outside, whether
so it comes out.
It comes out.
Yeah.
And in that way, it contributes. Not only that, your perfume bottles, your foam in shavings and other area, anything which is using for propelling. If you look at the container that normally has, it has almost 55 to 60% filled with gas.
Yes. Exactly.
Yes.
And remaining is the material. So gas is used for propulsion. So whenever you have a spray, it comes with gas. Excuse me.
No problem.
So in that case,
you can take your time, sir.
I can't do this.
It's perfectly
So
all right.
in that case, it is all including into the atmosphere.
All right.
Okay, so we do understand that when we talk about aerosols, Shahzad, I think Dr. Irfan Saab is right in terms of our daily uses as well. I mean, every other morning when we're getting ready, we do use sort of hairspray too, right? So I think we do. I mean, we're supposed
obviously, to use hairspray, you need to have hair now.
Point being, yes, on our daily basis as well, every single person unintentionally happens to utilize substances that are depleting the ozone layer. But here's the thing. Now, coming back to Dr. Zeham, sir, we know that the actual depletion was noticed in the 70s, and then protocols were made and whatnot, and then by the mid of this century it's supposed to be back to where it was. So yes, while there are a lot of things that the government of Pakistan or the Ministry of Climate Change itself is doing, but on a global level, can you put a finger or can you pin it that this is in this time in the future the ozone will be completely preserved? Is it even possible to go back to 100%?
Definitely. Basically, the target is if we control the production and consumption of ozone depleting substances.
Okay.
If we completely ban the production, because that are the chemicals which deplete the ozone. If we have the alternates which are ozone friendly, then definitely we will heal the ozone layer, and we will be on sustainable position.
Okay.
But that is first time that we have to stop the production and consumption of the ozone depleting substances, because the target of Montreal Protocol is to control the ozone depleting substances.
Exactly.
So that is why all over the globe is committed to control. Even they are providing the funds through multilateral fund secretariat all over the developing countries. So if all the countries are committed and to phase down this ozone depleting substances, definitely we will be in the position that all the ozone layer will recover.
Right, inshallah, hopefully so.
Let me add one thing here.
Yes,
you see, the biggest challenge, what the Dr. Zegum was saying, alternative. So that based on innovations, and we have to be careful while the substances which are being developed as a substitute to ODS should not be having another impact.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So that's the big question for that.
So that is a big question, but adding on to that, I think what we need to, I think it is a challenging job for the researchers out there, for the scientists out there, because for whatever alternate they're going to come up with, they cannot bring the ozone downer to test it. I don't know what procedures they might have in place, but how is it going to happen? Now, let's talk about that.
But there are chemical cultures on which, I mean, it has been tested, right? That is how people have been learning as well. Do answer that as well. Also, sir, to our understanding, of course, when we talk about different regions of the globe, the depletion of ozone is different for each part. Like you tried to explain to me earlier as well, that the parts which are closer to the stratosphere as well, they will have more depletion. So, of course, there are different measures. For example, for Pakistan to recover the ozone, there are different measures as compared to what Canada has to do. So, let us know which are some of the regions that are the worstly affected, and how can they actually contribute the largest for the entire globe to be safe?
Yeah, the region close to the both poles.
Of course.
They are directly affecting because they are very close to the natural, it's not hole, in fact, is a layer with the thinning of the ozone.
Okay.
And due to this, that hole is becoming a big hole, and they are affecting more on the north and the south, particularly on the both sides, Arctics and Antarctics. And what is the chemical reaction? You see, if you consider this ozone as a blessing in the upper atmosphere, stratosphere, but it's a pollution when it's the ground level.
Okay.
Yeah. So because O3, this is three atoms of oxygen, they combine together. At the ground surface level, it is one of the pollutant.
Okay.
Right.
So
it is having health impact again.
Okay.
Not only that, because it's causing like asthma and this kind of thing, because it's all having effect with nitrous oxide coming out of our vehicles and all the area. Particularly, there have been a lot of experiment 30 years back when I was studying in UK, and there was a lot of fields in Imperial College, and they were testing, and they selected Pakistan, particularly Lahore city. Lakshmi Chowk and this area, they put certain receivers of the ozones. And they found it very close, because Lakshmi Chowk railway station, this area in Lahore, a very crowded area.
Right.
So, and they were taking that sample from there and collecting over there, and then they identified, and there were many PhDs going on, that it is one of the pollutant at the surface level. But when it go up, it's a blessing that you protect it.
So it comes
So
down.
in that case, there were a lot of other things because our untuned cars producing nitric oxides.
Exactly.
So it's mixing with the CO2 from the other area. So it's what you call carbon monoxide coming from incomplete combustion. So that's one O is with the O becoming O3.
O3.
So
Exactly.
that's the formula going on. So it is, I think, related to public awareness also.
Oh,
So
exactly.
they must know.
Important.
Which is why I'm going to move back to Dr. Zagham Saab over here, because I think that there's a lot which needs to be done as well, because recently I was in UK and you know they have these standards Euro 4, Euro 5, Euro 6 and you know the cars really need to pass those tests to be roadworthy and to be on the roads as well. Whereas over in Pakistan we do not have any such concepts as well. If somebody's got a bigger silencer and it's throwing smoke, nobody cares, not even the government, not even the police wardens who are out there as well, not even the traffic police, and nobody asks about whether your car is roadworthy or not. You know, even if it's with three tires, it's moving because it's Pakistan and we're so happy to see it. We're like, oh, look at that car. It's going
1960
on
model.
with 3 wheels. Yes.
1960 model.
1960 model or
Vintage.
probably 1820 model as well. Even on the motorways, we are not realizing that there are people driving without headlights as well. So that being a smaller problem. But I think that, you know, having so many cars to every household, even in Islamabad, Lahore, Karachi, in bigger cities, we see that there are at least 4 or 5 cars to each home. How do you think that the government is actually going to advocate the general masses as well, that please, come on, you really need to make sure there needs to be awareness campaigns? Are we moving in the right direction?
Yeah, Ministry of Climate Change has already taken initiative in this regard, and we are working and we have developed the electric vehicle policy.
Yeah.
That is very popular nowadays, and we are also going for the Euro 5.
Yeah.
And the Euro 5 petroleum product is also in the market. So Ministry is very committed to introduce the environment friendly technologies as well as
I
environment.
mean, every time somebody tells me that, you know, that this kind of product is in the market, I just cannot believe it, because we have seen people, God forbid, eating, you know, all different kinds of meats as well. We have seen people drinking all different kinds of drinks as well with insects in it and whatnot. So I think that the control policy over here is not in place, and it needs to be brought in place as well. And who's going to do that? Whose responsibility is that?
Or I just
that
think
at least somebody's out there to check whether the product we're getting or what we are paying for is exactly the product we wanted.
Yeah, that's true, Shahzad. I think a better way to probably rephrase the question that we want to ask is that while, yes, we do understand the ministry is definitely doing a lot to save the climate as well, we the people, the public, has definitely a responsibility to play as well. So this is the answer you both have to give right now. Probably this can be a public service message as well. Look into this camera and let everyone know how in their individual capacity they can well contribute to preserve the ozone. Let's start with you, Dr. Irfan Saab.
I think with individual capacity, first things start from our awareness. We must be aware what we are doing, using what kind of products. Not only the sprays and other things, the refrigerants, what we are going to buy from the market. When we are going over there, do we select CFC free or HFC free, and then we'll go for the price, or the quality of the shape, the color, these things. Air conditioner, sometimes they send an old air conditioner, yes. Still you get messages that please give this,
sell your old
air conditioner. So these are the things that you are making redundant, at the other time some are using it.
Yeah.
So I think there's something also related to your power of purchase and poverty issues also. That's a reality, that nobody can afford that kind of new things. But I think we must realize there are, if perfumes are available, you must be remembering the old bottle with the tube spray. They're still available. Yeah, and similarly there are many other things and sprays going on instead of this aerosol sprays. And not only in these sprays, there are a lot of other products in industrial where you use for the cleaning purpose. We use a lot of sprays, foams, just for the cleaning purpose. They also have these
Imagine
things.
Even during these COVID-19 times, we have been using sanitizers with CFCs as well. You know, now since I know the purpose of that gas, I'm sure that it was in that sanitizer bottle as well. So I think everybody needs to make sure that they look after and they play their role as well. Because just one thing before we take a message for Dr. Zagham Saab as well, and that is, this is something which I've experienced firsthand, that I went to buy an air conditioner, And there were all sorts of stickers over there, so whatever make you wanted, you can put a sticker on top of it.
No
so you
way.
can never actually trust whether it's CFC free or not, because it's just a sticker which they are going to paste on it, because majority of the things are manufactured in China, come in all shapes and sizes, put on the sticker, and that's it. Here you go.
So if you're saying there's an eco-friendly sticker and it's not really eco-friendly?
Yeah, so you really need to see whether
Oh,
it's printed
God.
on the
That
box or
need to
not.
testify. I think we have institutional mechanism. The problem, as we're talking about the auto vehicles and other things, regulatory framework does exist, but
Yes.
it's enforcement and implementation, like all other laws in Pakistan.
Right.
It's not only the environmental laws.
Definitely.
And I can assure you that regarding these things, our legal, regulatory framework, institutional framework, they exist. But I think the capacity of the institution and the enforcement mechanism, where we are lacking.
I 100% agree with you,
Sir,
Dr. Irfan.
what will be your message today?
On this Ozone Day, my message to the public is that we have to adopt the ozone-friendly technologies, and everybody should be care about the use of these ozone-depleting substances in their products. When they are buying something, they have to ensure that they are buying that products which are HCFC, CFC, and the other ozone-depleting substances free. And secondly, the people should be well aware about the ozone depleting substances. So my message is to stop the use of ozone depleting substances in air condition, refrigeration, in other products all over the world. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you so
sir.
much,
Thank
sir.
you very much, Professor Dr. Irfan Saab. Thank you very much, Dr. Zainul Saab, for being with us. Lovely to be in conversation.
Ladies and gentlemen, I really hope this actually delivered a message to all of you guys as well, because yes, like we already mentioned, the entire world is contributing towards preserving the ozone. Pakistan definitely is, the climate ministry itself, but on your part, you have to do, what you have to do is to be careful in terms of choosing the products that you supposed to use for your daily lives as well. Make sure it has nothing to do with, adding to the depletion of ozone as well. Well, stay tuned, because in the next segment, we have something very exciting and interesting for you. Maybe it's going to shape your day. Maybe it's going to lift your mood. Stay
Yeah.
tuned to find out. Good morning.
Good morning.
Sarangi is a bowed, short-necked string instrument from subcontinent, which is used in Pakistani classical music. Its flexible tunability and its ability to produce a large play of tonal color and emotional nuance makes it unique.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Well This Morning with the very energetic Shahzad Khan, as I always say, and Shahzad Hashmi. So, Shahzad, what are we doing in this short segment?
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, in this short segment, we will actually try to make sure that you feel the serenity of the very talented artist we have over here with some soulful vocals. And without any further ado, because we're very short on time, so we want to share the majority of this space with this particular gentleman as well, who happens to be Mr. Usama Wasim. Hello, assalamu alaikum. How are you, Usama?
Walaikum assalam. Thank you so much for your kind words, and I'm great.
Thank you very much for joining us. It's wonderful to have you. All I know so far is that you started singing when you were in your 8th grade.
Yeah, that's
Which
correct.
grade are you in now?
I am in my final year of bachelor's.
Well, you are in your final years
Yeah.
of bachelor's, so that makes it 6, 7, 8 or 9 years
Yeah,
approximately
I've lost the count.
that you've actually been singing as well, which is great.
Yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, we've always been making sure that we kind of try to promote the talented people who are out there as well, give them and share this platform with them as well. So Usama, tell us about yourself and tell us about your music.
Sure. Well, I've been singing for a really long time now, and I've been really struggling with with learning the guitars for myself.
Okay.
And for now, I would like to show you some of my songs.
Okay.
Of course.
And
So,
I
are
am-
you self-taught? Sorry, I'm cutting you.
Yeah.
Are you self-taught?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
that's
am
nice.
self-taught, and I'm currently teaching some students as well now.
Wow.
Yeah,
So when was the first time you actually bought a guitar for yourself?
it was in that 8th grade, I guess.
In 8th grade?
Yeah.
What did your father or mother say that, you know, okay, putter, ki karan laga?
Nahi.
Nobody
They
said
were
that?
very supportive,
No,
alhamdulillah.
did you go to them? You were like, okay, you know, I need a guitar for myself. What was
I
the
used to
first
sing
reaction?
before that as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in, I guess, 7th grade, and there was a teacher of English,
Yeah.
and she pushed me really hard to sing in front of the audience. So there was a speech competition, and she said that you have to sing Sama. So I sang this song Ut Jawana by Soch the band.
Yeah.
So the response that I got from the audience made me think that maybe I can really do this. Yeah.
Then Ut Jawana.
Yeah.
सुना दे फिर यार,
Yeah,
Sure,
let's
sure.
get to it.
So
जवान उठ गया जी.
So
are
this
we gonna
song
begin with
that I'm gonna sing is from the band Aro.
Oh yeah.
It's called
the-
Na
Wow.
Kaho.
Oh my God, love it.
It's okay. So here
Aruk
goes.
bhai, if you're out there, man, yeah, you've given us some beautiful songs.
Yes.
Indeed. Okay. भीगी सी एक रात ये ले आई क्या साथ ये धड़कने जो हमें कहने लगी हैं खामोशी के दरमियाँ कब चाही थी बात ये धड़कने जो हमें कहने लगी हैं ना कहो ना सुनो खामोशी गुफ्तगू होने लगी है जिंदगी ख्वाब में खोने लगी है हर आहट पे धड़के दिल करवट करवट रात ढले चारों ओर चेहरा तेरा यूं सपनों के दीप चले सपने हैं अपने प्यार के हाँ सपने हैं अपने प्यार के ना कहो ना सुनो खामोशी गुफ्तगू होने लगी है you so much.
This was so soothing, especially. I mean, you
so
have
much.
an amazing control over your vocals as
Thank
well.
you so much.
Not just that, I think, you know, meanwhile you were singing, I thought that, okay, probably we really need to travel together, go somewhere up onto the
Surely.
mountain.
And let him play,
there
right?
And just let him play and listen to him all day long. It was
Yes.
beautiful, yeah.
Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
So, Sama, you're studying computer sciences,
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
Do you plan to make this as a full-time profession in the future, or are you going to have this like as a
Well, in
passion
Pakistan,
maybe?
it's not really feasible for a musician to just rely on
Tell
music.
that to Asim, just
Yeah.
saying.
Well, I would just like to speak for myself.
Yeah, of course,
Yeah.
I was joking.
So I would think that music is a good passion, and it needs to be supported by the government a bit more,
Okay.
so that we can, you know, if I'm a independent musician, for one song I would require around 2 lakh rupees to, you know, to make it to a standard.
Okay.
Then I would require some more money to, you know, get it marketed.
Okay. Right. Makes sense.
So if that's not the case, we don't have music labels right now, but we have our phones, right?
Yeah, of course.
They are a music label in themselves. So we can, you know, opt some good schemes and policies, so to support independent artists as well.
Which I think is
Yes,
great,
I
and it's a
agree.
brilliant idea that you are actually relying on whatever resources you have to to yourself as well. But you know, I think where you actually mentioned that the government actually needs to play their role, ladies and gentlemen, it's a very important aspect, because even you know, I'm sorry that I actually have to share this example, but I have to share this. It's because of the fact that I think that this idea is great. So even in our neighboring country, ladies and gentlemen, what they've done is that one of their ministers actually made sure that he's going to dedicate a small amount of the budget which the government has for all of those artists who are out there as well, which is why we have recently seen that the Punjabi music trend is,
Exactly.
you know, it's all over the world.
I like it.
And it's because of the fact that government has given all of those Punjabi musicians and singers a smaller amount of the budget to make some music and produce some videos, so that everybody can, you know, probably watch them or see them and whatnot. And since it's an industry now, they go on YouTube and they are the views are in millions and millions, and everybody's generating money for themselves. So if you know, since we are a developing nation, you know, fortunately there will be a time when
Inshallah.
I think that the government will actually think of investing into their artists and talented people.
It's high time, I
But
guess.
there's one more shift which I've seen, and that is, I think, a good news for people like you. You're good looking, alhamdulillah, you're talented,
you so much.
and you can sing very well. So in recent years, what I've seen is that people who are multifaceted or multi-talented are people which people would want to use in their films, dramas, or elsewhere as well, because they can get the OST done from
That's
that
right.
particular singer as well.
That's correct.
They will cast him in the lead role as well, you know, and I think that people are loving it as well. You know,
That's
being so talented, being an actor at the same time, and then a singer, I think it's a good combo. You truly deserve to be
But
a
it
star.
all comes down to how much you are honest with your work, right?
Exactly,
That's true,
exactly,
that's true.
exactly.
How much dedicated you are as
Exactly,
well. And we know right now, Sama, you're also sort of teaching or giving lessons to other students
Yes.
as well for music.
Yes.
Right? Let us know about it.
So I am giving some beginner classes to some younger kids at a place called Magical Floor in Beria, Phase 4.
Nice.
And Phase 8, I'm sorry. Yeah, so it's been great. It's been really good experiences, and you know, kids are really fascinating at times, because they have their own way of understanding things. And being a teacher is a really nice experience for me.
Exactly, I agree.
Exactly, that's wonderful as well, which is why, ladies and gentlemen, this was Osama, making sure that he shares all kinds of talents who he has with him as well, or whatever his craft is. But ladies and gentlemen, it is my responsibility, it is your responsibility to make sure that we give these kids that particular platform which will enable them to do what they actually want to do, what their passion is, and pursue their goals as well.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, please make sure that you write to us on our Facebook fan page, which is with the name of
Well This Morning.
on Twitter,
Well This Morning without a G.
on Daily Motion and YouTube.
Also Well This Morning.
And the fabulous repeat is going to be at
5 past midnight
So
tonight.
very quickly, ladies and gentlemen, we are not going to let Osama go without sharing one of his own singles.
Sure.
So Osama, go ahead,
Sure.
take the lead.
Okay. So this song is called Hum Tumse.
Okay.
So this is the latest one that I have wrote and composed. So I'll share it with you.
hum tum kar rahe hain.
Let's see if you like it.
Yeah, let's do it.
हम तुम तुम हमसे हाँ लड़ने लगे, डरने लगे, तुमसे दूरी है और मैं अधूरा हूँ, तुमसे दूरी है और मैं अधूरा हूँ, बस चले जो मेरा सारे जग से तुझको चुरा लूं, हाँ हम तुमसे तुम हमसे जब लोग मुझसे पूछें अरे क्या हुआ दीवाने, कुछ न कह पाऊं मैं, बस मैं मेरा दिल जाने। जब लोग मुझसे पूछें अरे क्या हुआ दीवाने,
Thank you so much.